Hey guys, welcome to another episode on the Diptinker Diary Podcast. So today I'm finally going to be doing the episode through whose lenses. Let me just give you a little story behind the scene. So this episode, I wanted to do it like severally, yes, before now. The first time I was doing it, everything was okay. The scene was set, there was light, everything was just okay. But okay, let me say, except one thing, I didn't know that the battery of my phone was actually very low. So the thing stopped recording at 4 minutes, and I spoke like about 20 to 30 minutes. After I finished recording, let me see what I did. Then I saw that it stopped recording at 4 minutes ago. 4 minutes ago, 4 minutes. Then the second time I was recording, and in between there was light out. Then I think another time, I can't really remember, but I know I've tried recording this episode severally and it didn't work out. Eventually I stopped trying because my schedules and other things came up, right? So, but here I am today. I'm glad to be here. If you're a returning listener and a returning viewer, thank you. Thank you for always coming to the Diptinker Diary Podcast. And if this is your first time coming across this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Yes, you can also share. This podcast is available on Spotify and on YouTube. Thank you. So, hope you guys have been good. Hope everything is going on well with you. I know you'll be saying in your mind that in this Nigeria, nobody is good, but we try to be good all is well. Yeah. For me, I'm good and my week has been hectic. And last week I had like a little bit easy week, but this week, like because it was easy last week, maybe they just said, this book can't have it easy again. No, so it was really hectic. Yeah, and I'm recording this on the weekend, so that is why I won't have the time to record this video, this episode. And I'm going to be talking on through whose lenses. First of all, the thing that brought this to my what's it called, to my thoughts was when I just that some things that just happen in your environment around you, and you'll be like, you start questioning like, what would have sponsored this thought, what would have sponsored this action, why is this person like this, and you begin to like put in one, put in two, and come to a conclusion. Yes. So looking around me, I find that I've always heard it that identity is one of man's greatest crisis. But recently I looked around me and I saw it so true. You see, some people have this strength, they have this ability, they have everything, but you never see them perform it. So how do I know that they have it? Because you see what they do in their own little space, you see what they do when nobody is there, and you're like, oh, you can do this. But when everyone is there, they don't do that. You hardly even hear them talk, you hardly hear them speak. And there are other sects that are always everywhere, but when you hear them speak about certain topics, when you hear them speak about themselves, you're like, is this what you think about yourself? Is this what you think? Like, is this what you expect in return? Is this the reactions you expect from this action? If this is what you expect, if this is what you think, there's a problem somewhere, because you don't have to expect this kind of results from these actions. So all those kind of things, and I begin to say, wow, like identity is actually a big issue. Identity is actually a big issue. And I also appreciate people out there that are also putting out their voices, trying to speak on identity, trying to speak on it. And we can actually speak less of it, because if man can get their identity right, we will not face a number of issues that we are facing even today. Let's take an example. There was a time that it became like an outbreak. It was like an epidemic. You never know, say pandemic. What I want to talk about is not even disease, but there was a time that it was very common to hear, I identify as. Actually, they still do it today, but it's not like when it started. It was like a trend. It was like something that was blowing to the air, and everybody was identifying as this. Like, there's no single day I wake up that I don't hear of new identity. So it was like everybody was identifying as this, everybody was identifying as that. A man wakes up, I'm identifying as a girl. A girl wakes up, I'm identifying as a boy. A white person wakes up, I'm identifying as a black man or a black woman. I identify as a cat. Like a lot of identifiers. If we knew our identity, I don't think there's an issue. We don't need to get to that stage where we begin to announce and say, okay, I identify as this. Because from your actions, from everything you do, I'm supposed to know that, okay, this is who you are. When looking at me, you know that, oh, this person that is on your screen right now is a girl. And even if you can't see me sometimes, most times you can actually tell from my voice, the way I laugh, the way I react to things, and you'd be like, that person must be female, right? So there are some things that are inherent in us that can show who you are. And when it comes to like personal traits, it comes from a mindset, it comes from how we grew up, our family, and the rest of that. It's just there, like it's just there. You can tell. But when then going further into this identity stuff, like who am I really? That has been a question. Who am I? Why am I here? What is the purpose of me being here? It's a question that needs to be answered. And if we can get it so well, if we can get it well, we get it well in other things. And that is why I came to ask through lenses. And this identity does not just affect how you identify, it also affects how you respond to people, how you deal with people, how you deal with your personal issues, how you deal with your personal things, situations, and circumstances that may come around you. Yes, understanding and know who you are will help in dealing with all these things. You won't need to seek validations. Yes, and that is what is feed on the internet. People seeking validation here and there. But if we know who we are, I don't need to seek your validation. I don't need to hear you tell me I'm beautiful. I know I'm beautiful. I don't need to tell me that. You need to tell me, remember you're so intelligent. There's some things you just basically know because we know who we are, right? And that is why you hear that slang saying, she's who she says she is. Because some people know this, but many don't know these things. Now let's go straight to what I have to say today. First of all, let's come. There are different views. Yes, there are different views. We have two sides of a coin. We have the front and the back camera. We have different views. Some people view it in a landscape manner, some people view it in a portrait manner. They are different views. You can decide to off your coloring and you view it white and black. So what I'm trying to say in all these things is that they are different views. But if you can get the right angle, just like that photographer at your wedding that is trying to get the right angle to capture the best moment, that is it. If you can get the right angles to these things, you will be able to have the best of views, right? That is not the only view, but you can get the best view. You can say, oh, this is the best view for this shot, right? There's something like best view for a shot, right? So if you can get it right, if you can get that angle right, you can get the best view. And then neglecting other views. I know that at this moment I need to capture this in a landscape manner. Yes, portrait is good, but it will not fit in for the purpose of this. That is it. So what am I trying to say? The word, society standards, your family background, your yes, peer pressure, how you grew up, all these things are called views. Yes. So people will react to you from your from society standards. People react to me as a female. There's a way I react, and the statement you hear is because she's a girl. Now, so all these women they do, right? Then there is the financial status on all these poor people save. Now so poor people they do, poor people they go just they born anyhow. That is a view, right? Then there's the family background on. That girl be like say our family people now we true. So even if you are not that thing, because they already view your family in that way, or a family now poor people they just they born, a family now bad people, a family they are kind people. The way they view your family, they will just automatically transfer it to you, and you become like that. Her mother had HIV. This girl, she go get HIV. Her mother was wayward. This girl, this boy, he go there wayward. So these are different views. You come to the school aspect. there's someone that's always topping the class, and you're there, you've not topped the class once. So they ask a question, you raise up your hand, they say, okay, like they pretend like you did not raise up your hand because they want to hear from the best student. So what I'm trying to say is that there are different views, and there is another set that is saying this girl no too fine, no, she no even package like that, see the other girl. Then for the guys like, this guy no even hold money, I beg, if you don't have money, to the back, people that have money to the front. So these are all views, and at the end of the day, we will collate all of them. So meaning they're in different categories. Then we'll pick it. Societal on, I'm a female. Background on, I'm poor. Financial on, I don't even have money. I don't have a job. Academic, I'm not doing so well. At the end of the day, we not define ourselves from that. And I say, okay, it means I'm not good enough. It means I'm not a beautiful girl. It means nobody wants to see me. Nobody wants to hear from me. It means nobody likes me. Okay, what will I do now? So this is an action. So what will I do now? How will I react? Then be like, okay, since nobody likes me, let me keep to myself. Since nobody wants to see me, no need to speak up in public. Since nobody likes me, let me not make friends. Let me not mingle. At the end of the day, you bring up people that are depressed, introverted, melancholy people that what's it called, has no self-esteem, have no confidence, and they cannot even project. You barely see these people, and when you see these people are not talking. These people are just behind. That is views. These are lenses. This is how people define themselves, from lenses. But there's one lens that we have not talked about. There's still a lens that we've not talked about. How does God see you? And one thing about man is very inherent in us is that you have, and I don't know if you've seen those kind of videos. I've seen one. There are two jars on the right and on the left. Then they begin to throw in pebbles into the jars. You are beautiful, they throw in the jar. You are this, you are kind, they throw into the jar. Eventually, one of the jar was filled to the brim. Then one person just said, I don't like you, and threw into the empty jar. Then the person that was in the video pushed the jar full with pebbles, right? And carried the one that they wrote, I don't like you, and held it. So what I'm trying to say is that something about man is that we are quick to define ourselves in the wrongest way ever. We are quick to accept what people say about us in the worst way ever. If someone comes and say, Rhema, you're so good looking, I smile. That's why I say, I don't like your skirt. We are quick to choose that one that say, I don't like your skirt, and we no longer want to wear that skirt. We no longer want to be on that clothes, because why? Somebody told us, I don't like your skirt. But that one that say you are too beautiful, you forget it in an instant that somebody actually told you that you are beautiful. So meaning we are quick to judge ourselves and accept the wrongest, if there's any word like that, and the worst description of ourselves. And it still boils down again to what? Identity. If you rightly and accurately know who you are, you will stop seeing yourself the way people see you. You stop seeing yourself the way that society defines you. Instead, you begin to push yourself. You begin to show people who they should see. So meaning, if I am the kind girl and everybody thinks I am the wicked girl, all I need to do is show them, not to impress them, but like be who I am, and eventually people will see it. And if we stop living by societal standards, eventually we'll begin to be ourselves. Now let's go back to the lens that I was talking about. Now, there's still a way that our Creator have seen us. Yes, there's still a way that God have seen us. And it's littered all through the scriptures. How God have seen you. How God sees you. Who God has called you. Like, I can give you a whole lot of scriptures that talk about who God says you are. If you read through the book of Isaiah, if you focus on Isaiah 40 to Isaiah 60, you will see a whole lot of description about you. And this was in the Old Testament. Then come to the New Testament. Then you begin to see how Jesus portrays the Father. And the greatest revelation of who we are actually is when Jesus told us that He is Father. And that implication means that we are children. You are a son of God. You are a daughter of God, right? So there is no revelation that is higher than that. There is no revelation. I'm a rich girl. I'm an intelligent girl. Maybe there's no revelation as high as you're a child of God. Because why? First of all, who is God? God is supreme, God is sovereign, God is all powerful. You all know this. So you are a child of that person. You can imagine it. You are a child of that person. That person that you have called and say, oh, this person is all knowing, all this, all that. You are a child of that person. Can you begin to see, first of all, who you are? Then going forward, the scripture then calls you. It said you're a royal priesthood. You are a royalty priesthood. It said you are chosen. Now many of you out there will be saying like, okay, but I'm not a Christian. The truth is that this is the reality of who you are. This is the reality of who God has called you. God has called you chosen. God has called you loved. It means that He loves you. So if everybody say, oh, we hate this person, there is someone that is higher than these people that loves you. So it means that you are loved. God has called you chosen. So even if everyone rejects you, someone has chosen you. And one thing you have to know is that the more you live in your truth, the more people begin to see the light of that your truth. But if you begin to live according to them, it will prove them right that indeed this person is worth nothing. So if everybody say you are ugly and you begin to live like you are ugly, they will never even know that you are existing anymore. If they say, this girl cannot speak well, and you begin to live like someone that cannot talk in public, that is the end of it. So what is the narrative that I'm pushing out there? I'm saying that define yourself from the right lenses. See yourself from the right lenses. And you that you are saying that you are ugly, what makes you think that you are ugly? On which person's beauty standard have you defined that beauty? Have you defined that ugliness? Have you defined your physical what's called look? On which person's lens have you defined it? Now to you that you are saying that I cannot do anything, I'm not worth anything, on which person's scale or value have you defined yourself? There are many examples of people that have been defined low. I used to know a preacher that was born even should I use the word disabled? Yeah. Though ICF say we should not say disabled, we should say functional limited. But this person was still able to come out there, and we listened to this person. We listened, we watched people. We actually take that time and watch this person on TV, listening to him, and this person is functionally limited, right? So it begins to boil down to how you see yourself, how you have accepted the definitions that people gave you, the baggages you've carried over time from things that you did not cause, from things you did not create, because you did not create yourself. Did anybody choose their looks? Did anybody choose how they came? Did anybody choose the sex that they were born in? Nobody chose it. And you allow someone to push you down, trample on you, and you stay there because of things that you didn't control. And these things in themselves are not actually weaknesses. These things are strength, even though you can just live up to your truth. So I'm telling you today that define yourself through the right lenses, and I here present you a better one. Define yourself the way God has called you, the way God has defined you, the way God sees you. Yes, see yourself the way God sees you. That is the best definition you can give yourself. That is the best definition that anyone can live up to. And with that, he said people will come to the brightness of your shining. Yes, if you don't even live the truth, how will you shine? But when you live the truth, people will come to the brightness of your shining. That is when people will find value for you. People will know you. People will say, this is what you stand for. This is who you are. And you see people that will stand behind your back saying, yes, this is the person that I'm going to stand with. But when you live in the lie, nobody will stay with someone that does not even know who you are. Yes, if you can't tell me who you are, why should I come and attach myself? Because eventually I will lose myself by staying with you. Your depression will rub off on me. Your low self-esteem will rub off on me. Your low confidence will rub off on me. Your identity crisis will rub off on me. Eventually, if I stay around you, I'll begin to think, oh, are you sure I even know who I am? Are you sure I'm not even this? Are you sure I'm not that? it is in you showing who you actually are that people are able to, come closer to know who you are. Let me give you this scenario with inanimate object. Have you ever imagined one day you just wake up and the spoon say identify as a knife? How would it be? Eventually, what happens is that we will no longer find the use for the spoon because why? A knife has its purpose, a spoon has its purpose. So if you as a spoon say you want to identify as a knife and I want to use it as a knife, but you can't function as a knife, I will discard you and I'll have to make something else that will fit into the description of a spoon. So what am I saying? Identity is also a function of purpose. If you know who you are, you will know the purpose where you are to function, and then you begin to see your uniqueness. You begin to know that even in the lowliest state, there's something unique about you. As little as the hoe is, there are some things that you want to do on your farm, you will need a hoe. Yes, except for technological advances. But you will need a hoe, right? It's not a cutlass you need at that moment, right? And there are some things you want to do. You remember the sickle, even though you don't need sickle all the time, very often, like you need the cutlass, right? But there are some purposes you want to do. You remember the sickle, and you're like, okay, I need the sickle right now. So what I'm trying to say is that everything fits into their purposes. Everything fits into the, just like you saying, okay, I want to wear my shorts as a top, and I'm not even changing to a top. I want to wear like that as a top. It's not fitting. So that is it. So if you begin to see yourself differently, you will eventually not find purpose and you eventually not even live purpose at all. But when you stay in who you are, who God has called you, then you are walking on the path of purpose and you are fulfilling purpose, and people will find the use of you. So see yourself from the right lenses, define yourself from the right lenses, and that lens, the lens of God. You are not little, you're not weak, you're not ugly, you are just who you are. And in that there is strength, in that there is uniqueness, in that there is beauty, in that there's intelligence, there's where you can fit in. There's this show that I watched. I know many of you have watched it, and there's this there are children in the family. They are twins actually, and one of them, the male, is so smart, very smart. In fact, he was the like should I say the main character in that movie, right? But the twin, which was a girl, was not as book smart as the guy is. But do you know one unique thing about her? She was emotionally smart, mental, like life smart apart from book. They took both of them to a test and they showed them images concerning books, and the guy was just winning it, and the girl was losing. Then after that first round, the second round, they brought images of life issues. Okay, when somebody does like this, what does it mean? And the guy could not relate because why? He was book smart, he was looking for velocity, he was looking for gravity, he was looking for physics, he was looking for those things. But the girl was there winning it. Oh, this person is sad. Oh, this person is happy. Oh, this person wants something. So that is what I'm trying to say. You may not be the way that the other person is, but there's something about you that is uniqueness. That is the uniqueness of everyone. Everyone is created to fill in a purpose. Everyone is created to fit into something. But when you begin to define yourself lesser and differently, or you want to fit into what people say you are, eventually they will find no use for you. So that is just the narrative. They'll find no use for you. So, and if you want to define yourself accurately, what do? You go back to the manufacturer, who in this place is your creator, God. You go back to God. If you find an issue with your appliances at home, when I bought my sewing machine and I was acting too smart, I tried to change some things about it. Eventually, I had an issue. So to correct it, I had to bring out the manual again to see if I can find the solution of what I have done. So what I'm trying to say is that go back to your manufacturer, go back to your creator, go back to God, and you will find purpose, you will find fulfillment, you will find identity in its truest and realest form. You will find purpose, you will find identity in its truest and in its realest form. And that is it. That is the lens that should define you. Then from there, you can now show us who truly you are. That is it. And honestly, I hope that this episode will make you to have a think and yes, a reshaping of your mind, and you begin to think, okay, how have I defined myself over time? Is it God's standard or man's standard? And I advise you choose God's standard. That is the best for you. That is the best for you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate all of you. You can share your thoughts with me, drop that comment, and till when next we see, or till when next you hear from me. Bye.